The Survivor Specialists are back, and today I'm conducting exit interviews with 4 of the final 5 from Survivor 49. First up, I have runner-up Sophi Balerdi. Disastrous start for Sophi. She's on the starting tribe that just completely falls apart, one of the final 2 people left. But once the tribe swap hit, she started to find her footing in the game. I want to talk about her post-merge game and what we didn't see. Her knowledge is power. Disaster, and we'll talk about that. And if she thinks if she played that right or played it differently, could she have won this game? We'll also talk about why she didn't really ever reconnect with Alex and what we didn't see. So make sure you listen to this entire interview. I also have interviews with Rizzo, Savannah, and Christina coming out today. Hopefully we'll have Sage tomorrow. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enjoy this interview with Sophi Balerdi. I'm here with Sophi Balerdi, runner-up from Survivor 49. Sophi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I really thought you had this in the bag for the longest time.
I know. I came pretty close. And do you know, this is some tea. They didn't show it. I was hoping they would. Right before Jeff read the votes, Savannah turned to me and she goes, "You just won." And Nate, Joanne, Alex, and Steven told me they were 50-50. So I'm super proud of myself. Like, I really feel like I finished strong. I made a mistake. There's stuff that I regret. I think there's something everybody who loses Survivor regrets. Um, but I'm really proud of myself. Like, from the start that I had to the finish that I had, there's no better way to end other than winning. But I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the final tribal, but I want to start at the beginning because I know
Yeah.
you've been a fan forever. Forever. So you've dreamed about how is this going to play out? What am I going to do? What am I going to accomplish?
Yeah.
And then you end up on the disaster tribe.
Dude. Yeah.
How much did this throw off all of your plans and everything and like maybe put you on your heels a little bit?
It was such a nightmare. I was like, seriously, like I wanted to have a chance to like build some relationships, and I knew it was going to be an uphill battle after the fact because I was going to have less people, less numbers moving forward. But I mean, it just kind of like slapped me in the face, wake up, start playing the game early, and it ultimately kind of I feel helped me down the road because my mind was in the game from day one. And but it was honestly horrible. Like being on the disaster tribe, it's so much harder in real life than it looks. Like it was terrible. But again, like I feel like it kind of kicked me in the butt to start playing quicker than I needed to. And I think it helped me ultimately down the road.
And you talked about building these relationships. Alex, it felt like the two of you, we almost always see if there's a disaster tribe, those two people stick together, they find their way. You guys swapped, and it seemed like you never got back together. He doesn't vote for you
No,
at the end. What was up?
no. So Alex and I probably had, even after Nicole and Annie, the least close relationship from anyone in Kella. What kept us together was Jake. Jake was obsessed with Alex, and I knew I needed Jake to kind of shield me, and also I wasn't very athletic, so I knew if the conversation came up, let's get rid of the weak link in a disaster tribe. I knew Jake would protect me. So when it ended up being just me and Alex, it was a nightmare. Like that's why I was trying to take his idol and hide it because in that situation with Jeremiah, me and Alex, I would have voted with Jeremiah to get Alex out. Like I wanted to work with Jeremiah. He was actually my friend in the game. I didn't trust Alex that much. And I was right not to. Like he left me out in the first vote at the merge. And I had told him, like, I want to work with you. I had confided him with in things that like I had been privy to from my swaps. Like I wanted to work with him at the merge, but he burned me. And I knew after that, like I couldn't trust him because he was more so with the other side and he was being really sloppy. And so, I don't know. I don't know why he didn't vote for me, but it came to a point where we both spent more time with other people than even each other from the beginning of the game. So I didn't feel entitled to his vote. I was hoping I would get it just, because of how we started. I did give him like a little like asshole. Why'd you do that? After because I assumed one of the votes was his, but he was like, no. I was like, okay. But he was in the jury for a while, so he had time to come up with his decision, and I respect it.
Yeah, and so it comes down to you're down 7-3. You're with Sophie, or you are Sophie. You're with Savannah and Rizzo. Was there any part of you that said, I'll be able to pull Alex in, or was there anybody that you were trying to pull in to make work on that front?
When
When you were down 7-3, well, obviously that was when Savannah goes at final
oh
10, it's the split. When Savannah and Rizzo are over on the other side, how were you
yeah.
feeling on your side? Did you feel like that you could bridge a relationship with Alex or any of the players who weren't over there?
So yes, and I actually did a good job at that. I made a fake alliance with Alex, Sage, and Jawan. And honestly, that's when I really started playing the middle. And I wish they would have shown this more, but a lot of like the reason why we were able to do so well, our trio, was because of the information I was getting from the other side and bringing it to us. Like everyone trusted me. And Jawan and Sage were telling me absolutely everything. And when I realized Alex was kind of playing the middle role that I wanted to play, that's when I was like, huh, maybe we can throw Alex under the bus. And everything I'm telling Sav and Rizzo, we'll just tell everybody Alex was the one leaking the information. And then I pretty much took the place of the ultimate middleman of our season, where I was taking the information from both sides and like using it to my advantage. And I played a really strategic game post merge, but it wasn't really shown. And I get it because a lot of my I got a lot of screen time pre-merge, and I think they wanted to give their flowers to people like Rizzo, who had more of like a goofy edit pre-merge, and show what he did. But honestly, me and Rizzo, and he'll tell you probably himself, like we tag team in a lot of the votes. And I don't think if it weren't for me, I don't think we would have gone as far as we did. Like I could probably claim a lot of the things we did, and had I not been a part of it, I don't know if it would have worked out. But yeah.
So was there ever a part of you that was concerned that being a part of that three and Rizzo getting up and doing his antics and Savannah winning immunities, was there ever a part of you that said, I got to figure out a way to really make sure I'm the tallest blade of grass? Or were you not concerned about that?
So I was more worried about Sav than Rizzo because I knew the games Rizzo was playing. He's a phenomenal Survivor player, but am a very self-aware person, a very observant person. I had a really good social game. I would talk to everybody. I knew their sentiment. I knew how Christina, MC, a lot of them felt about Rizzo, and they underestimated him a lot. And that was someone that I felt comfortable sitting next to in a final three. And so whenever I talked about flipping on them, I was more so talking about flipping on Sav because I really thought her as like a true opponent. And I grouped them together because I knew I could never tell Rizzo that I was gonna flip on Sav because he was gonna probably use his idol or something. But yes, and I knew that my knowledge is power was gonna be that move, and I timed it perfectly. I didn't tell anybody about it. And after Christina used her idol on Steven, I knew that the only thing left in the game to take was Rizzo's idol. So my move was going to be taking Rizzo's idol at final six. And a big part of my game, which I wish they would have showed me talking about at Final Tribal, was convincing Rizzo not to use his idol. Because there was many times he almost did. Like, for example, the Jawan vote. He almost used that instead of us using Sav's extra vote. But I convinced him not to because I thought, as long as Rizzo has an idol in this game, I have an idol in this game, and he's just carrying it for me and taking all the heat for it. And so I was fully ready to take Rizzo's idol and make a move at six. The thing that changed, and it wasn't the margaritas, it wasn't the tacos. I promise you, they made it look like that. I was still gonna flip on them after that reward. I knew that telling them about the knowledge is power was not gonna make them like think that I was like they were never gonna Rizzo was never gonna give Sav his idol and worry that I was gonna flip on them. If anything, it was gonna make them trust me more. I was still gonna take it. I was gonna take Rizzo's idol and vote Sav out. And what changed was Sav won immunity because
Yeah.
she's a badass. And that changed my plans because the next biggest threat was not Rizzo. It was Steven. Steven had two immunity wins. He had a relationship with every single person in the jury. And so had we left Steven in the game, it would have been like probably a toss up between Sav and Steven. And so I thought taking Steven's advantage, taking credit for Steven going, because I knew he was going to go, that would have given me the flashy thing on my resume where I felt comfortable sitting with my allies at the end because I knew I had better relationships with the jury than them. I had the underdog story. I had the social relationships and the. So I felt like if that would have worked and I would have been able to take Steven's advantage, I would have probably been able to win against Sav and Rizzo. But because I looked dumb, that's when I was like, oh no, I need to get one of them out or like Sav out if I can.
Yeah,
So.
and so the knowledge is power obviously goes wrong. At that point, did you feel like you were drawing dead, or did you feel like you still had a
Yes.
shot if you got Sav out?
Well, yeah, because I mean, at this point, genuinely, I don't think Christina and Sage could have won. A lot of people felt burned by Sage in the jury, and like Christina, she hadn't gone to tribal council since until the jury started, and she had voted incorrectly many times, played her idol incorrectly. So I felt good sitting next to them at the end completely. And even next to Rizzo, like, had Rizzo won fire, I was told by almost every jury member that I would have won the game, even after the knowledge is power blunder. I think what they did was they made it look like this big thing because I lost. So maybe to the audience, this is why Sophie lost. but it wasn't that big of a deal to the jury as it was to the audience. And so yeah, I thought I knew I looked dumb and I was pissed because I could have just taken Rizzo's idol and looked fine. But I don't regret getting Steven out because I do think there was still a path for me to win at that point.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously the big one was at the final tribal. Going into that, did you feel like you had a chance against Savannah, and who were you trying to work the most? And then when Christina asked that question and Savannah gets it essentially wrong, I feel like that's the first jury question we've seen actually answered incorrectly. Was there
Yeah.
any part of you that felt like, oh, maybe there's a bigger chance than I thought I had?
So going into the final tribal, I knew I was losing the game. I mean, I'm a super fan of Survivor. I am very self-aware. Sitting next to someone who's won 4 immunities, one fire, like it's gonna be an uphill battle. But with that, like I knew I was gonna go in there and give it everything, like throw everything at the wall. And yeah, when she asked that question, I was like, wait a second. And then seeing how receptive they were to my answers, I was me and Savannah, and I think even Jeff was surprised, like, am I actually gonna win this thing?
Mhm.
And so yeah, I think I did have a chance. And so I think had Sav won 2 or 3 immunities instead of 4, I could have pulled it out still, like, which is crazy to say. But yeah, you saw me surprised at some of the votes. Like I didn't think I was gonna get any because of like I'm really hard on myself usually. Like I thought that the knowledge is power fumble was way worse than it was, but according to the jury members, like I still had a real shot to win it, which is crazy.
Yeah, and it was fascinating to watch as a viewer because it looked like they were laughing with you as you walked by. They weren't making fun of you. They were kind of like,
No,
"Oh, Soph," and it felt like they felt for you in that moment.
no, yeah, and every time I walked out a tribal, Alex would mouth to me like "love you." Nate would smile at me. Like I had good. That was my strength in the game. Like I wasn't winning immunities, and the audience can't really see. It's hard to see a social game, but I did a really good job of jury management, and I promise you, sitting next to anyone else other than Savannah, even next to Steven, I felt confident next to because I had gone to 5 tribals before Steven even went to one. So
Yeah.
like I knew I had the story. I just like Sav was just a beast. She's an undeniable winner. She was unstoppable and she deserves it. But like I did have a good shot. I did have a good shot.
Well, my last question for you then. Obviously, we know we're zone Savannah now. We're on 50.
I
If
know.
they asked you to play again, are you going out there in a second, or would you think
In a
about it after the
freaking
disaster?
second. Are you kidding me? That's part of the reason why it sucks. It double sucks to lose Survivor 49 because it's like I could have won the million, but I also could have gone on 50.
Mhm.
You know, I think I had a good chance too. So it sucks. It burns, but I don't know. Something tells me I'll be back one day. I don't know.
Well, I hope to see you back. I feel like there was a lot of potential there, and I feel like you played a really solid game. And even
Thank
when
you.
things went wrong, you still got 2 votes at Final Tribal Council
Oh my
against a
gosh.
really dominant player. So that
It's
says a lot.
true. Thank you so much. And I want to talk to you again in the future, by the way. So if I ever get
Yes,
the opportunity, that'd be awesome.
absolutely. You know that we'd love to have you on for predictions, power rankings, any of that fun stuff. So thank you so
Heck
much,
yeah.
Sophie. I appreciate
Thank
this.
you.
Congratulations on second, and
Thank
see you
you.
next time.
See you next time.